Me back to your place. Your place. Oh, recipe. I think I have to put it out there too. About the face. What's going on? We just checking in. We just checking in. Letting it come on in. Just going live.
Just going live.
Just going live for a little bit. For a little. Yeah. We met people last week. What's going on? The traveling therapist _ Kim. How are you?
Okay. Traveling therapist.
Yeah. We got all kind of names out here these days. Happy holidays. Merry Kwanzaa.
Oh, somebody said Merry Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Merry Thanksgiving. Happy Hanukkah.
It's like he's spitting up some coal.
Happy Hanukkah. All that good stuff.
Yeah. I wonder if I can I can't share it right now, can I? From there without jumping off of it. It's all good. Y'all come on in.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
We give it a couple little minutes. While you doing that, you know what? We might as well go ahead and do our check-in while y'all coming on. Yeah, while y'all coming on.
I did it last time, so it's your turn.
So we starting off. So of course, again, you guys, welcome to a Be About Your Business podcast. You know, it's your host over here, your favorite bro and sister combination.
Yeah.
Dame and Steph here in the building. This episode right here is kind of like a this our last one for the year. We're gonna see y'all in 2024 after this right here.
2020.
This was a pretty good year though, as far as the podcast, because we started this when, like, March, maybe? March, April, something like that.
I don't feel like it's been that long.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that. I want to get y'all feedback too before we get off of here. We're gonna talk about that. What would y'all want to see in 2024 from the baby? And we're not talking about the rap. We're talking about Be About Your Business. That's the acronym, baby.
Baby.
Yeah.
Not the baby or little baby.
Right. It's just baby. And we ain't rubbing our hands like Birdman. You know, they call him baby too. Everybody a baby. You know, but we definitely gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
It's like our year-end review type of thing. You know, what's the positive things that has happened throughout the year? What's some things that you want to improve on? You know, going into 2024. We already talked about goals. Mm-hmm. If you haven't already established your goals by now, you behind a little bit, but there's still time.
Yeah, it's still time.
Still time.
Get it done.
Just getting it done. It's not a time frame in the sense of a specific date, but you know,
if you're thinking about planning ahead, you probably
You probably want to go ahead and get on that.
Blink long.
Listen,
and it's gonna be New Year's. It's gonna be 2020.
It's gonna be springtime.
Yeah. And then you do it like, you know, kids gonna be out for spring break, and then you do it again.
Right.
It's gonna be summertime. It's gonna then we're gonna be talking about this again.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, cuz.
Working on my social anxiety.
Oddball. I gotta get used to that. That's Brandon. That's formerly known as.
What? What? Oh, it's not Brandon.
I don't know if you officially did it, cuz. Let us know if you officially changed your name. I definitely want to respect all aspects of everyone. So if you officially change your name,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Definitely want to respect that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. I see it, but I was like, who is that?
Yeah, that's Brandon.
Okay, what's up, Brandon? Social anxiety,
yeah. That's a real thing, man. Like, and I think a lot of people struggle with that, but they just can't really put a name to it, because it's like, like, people get on my nerves being around people all the time. It's draining. I get easily, agitated. I want to blow up. But most people, when they think of social anxiety, they think of the anxiety of the attacks.
Like having a whole panic attack.
Yeah, a whole panic attack. But on the flip side of social anxiety is the emotional aspect of it, as far as, being easily agitated, easily triggered, um, just the racing thoughts, like everything going through your mind, worst case scenarios, things like that. Sometimes that's.
I think shit. I might have everything about that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm someplace and I don't see but one exit.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, what's gonna happen?
Right.
If something happens, where we going?
I mean, it's okay to think about that because it's, it's a natural response, especially, if you've ever experienced anything to where you've been in a club or a certain situation or something like that and something pop off and you only got one exit. That feeling of being stuck or being caged in a sense, but it's more so how does it affect you moving forward, even in safe situations. How do you show up in those spaces? You know what I mean? Like,
and because you're always kind of thinking about the what ifs. What you're saying, like
you always think about what else, worst case scenario. Yeah, right. And it's kind of like not even a what ifs, but it's kind of like what you're thinking. It starts to manifest in your physical. You have physiological responses to something that you're thinking that's not even happening, but in your mind it could happen, or it's in the process of happening. So that's how people, when they have anxiety attacks, it's something that they're thinking about that's causing it to be like in their present. So it's kind of like you're in that situation, even though you're not physically in the situation. Mentally, you are. So mentally, it kind of takes over your body as if you was there. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know. What's up? Look, hey, trap gear. Say I got my trap gear on.
Oh, you trapping in a trap gear today?
I'm trapping in my trap gear tonight because that's how I'm feeling tonight.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I didn't know. I guess when you think about it like that, I'm in my mind. If I didn't know, I'll just be like, "Well, you bugging? You tweaking? What's happening with you? Not thinking about you just having this social whole episode, social anxiety."
Absolutely, that's what it is. We just got to change the perception of what anxiety is.
Because sometimes I feel like people use, anxiety as a scapegoat for different things
to validate your negative behaviors.
Right. So you be like, okay, well, my anxiety not gonna let me do this, or my anxiety flaring up, so I can't. I gotta go smoke, or I can't go because my anxiety being around people. You know what I mean? I just think hopefully anybody that has the issue or the things that you're talking about, that they seek a professional.
Absolutely.
Versus saying, I have this thing, then make sure that you're actually talking to somebody about it, seeking help, even if it needs to be something other than just you working through the therapy or the trauma. Right. But anyway.
That's a real key point. Yeah. Like a lot of that is unresolved trauma and recognizing what is trauma.
What is trauma? Like, what's the thing?
Yeah. And we often think like it gotta be something like catastrophic. Like you've seen somebody's head get chopped off or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we think to the fullest extent, but it could be something as simple as, hey, I've seen my parents get divorced, or they arguing in the house all the time. So now I'm constantly on edge every time I walk into the house because I don't know
what that means.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. What that looks like.
That excessive worry is anxiety.
Shit, I might have it. I don't know. I'm just playing, but I'm just saying, like, but maybe on a serious note, maybe people experience it throughout your day-to-day life, and I guess maybe it's certain people that may intensify, or it may heighten. It may be a little bit more, but I feel like most people have some form of anxiety about throughout your day-to-day life. You have some form of anxiety.
If you don't, you're probably not human.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Just make sure that you're seeking help and talking to somebody about that stuff.
And I often say, like, we all can meet criteria for a particular diagnosis at any given time of day, right? You know, some days it's better than others. Some days you might be depressed. Doesn't mean that you're, you know, clinically depressed or, you know, meet criteria for major depressive disorder, because that's a measurement over time.
But you were going through this thing,
right?
And
like grief,
grief, something happened, or you lost some person, or something, or whatever, and then you realize, okay, I'm recognize what this is, and let me snap out of it. Let me do things that kind of get the boat back rolling.
Absolutely.
Okay. Listen, whole session just that fast.
Just that fast off one comment. So make sure y'all talking to us. We talking to y'all talking to each other. That's how we do it here on the Be About Your Business podcast. But we was checking in. Again, we do this each and every week on here when we live. When we talking to you guys, we often want to check in with each other, see how we doing. You know, because life be lifing sometimes. And again, we were talking offline, but life is short. Short as hell.
We would just talk like that's. I know I don't even make New Year's resolution. Like I think that's some bogus ass stuff. But I know going into what people consider a new year, 2024. Like one of the things, and even starting this month, that's why I was like, for my birthday, I was gonna make sure I actually went somewhere every weekend, and not just went somewhere, but went somewhere and spent time with people that I care about and that I know care about me. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of pressing that button as an entrepreneur when it's time to like reset and relax and shit going, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna keep going, life gonna keep going, but you can't be hustling like every day. At some point you gotta take a break from the hustle and bustle of life. So I definitely know that life is like when you think about it, you only got like 30 more summers. You know what I'm saying?
Like that comedian said that, I was like, shit. You really only got you about 40. You got about 30. Not saying that you gonna die, but
a good 30. To live.
Yeah, right.
What you call it? I love Plies analogies, and I posted that he was like, man, listen, don't let nobody steal your peace. It's like, between your birth and 18, somebody is taking care of you. But then when you get 65, depending on how your health is, then somebody taking care of you again. So then you got these 40 years to live. And if you think about it like that, or even when you think about it like, man, I really, got a strong 30 summers left. When you think about 30 summers, like, bro, that's crazy. So we have to, like, even hearing about people passing, that we know. When I was at our aunt house in this weekend, like a family member had passed, and so it just kind of just reminds you and put stuff into perspective, like what's important, who, and more importantly, who is important to spend the time with while you're on this earth. And so, you're going to, I think everybody goes to that thing where you spend time with people. But at the moment when you realize the person is wasting your time, a lot of times we hold on to that to say, okay, well, that, it's that potential. That's why I always keep saying, you deal with people because of their, you always hear people say, man, you could do this and you could do, and so a lot of times you have this perception of, or it's in our mind, really. Like you get mad when you wasted time with somebody, but really you should be mad at yourself because you're the one that wasted the time, and you probably was thinking like, this is a good person, like they got so much potential. But ain't nobody effing with nobody based on no potential.
No. We passed that. Like
we passed that.
At this point, that's on you to realize your potential. That's not my job.
And then how long? Like, am I just basing on like, I see you, I'm talking to you, we got a good conversation, and then I'm just like, man, this person got mad, and it don't have to be like a dating relationship.
Right, yeah.
It could be a friendship, work relationship, in your business or whatever. And you like, man, this person has really good potential.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, how long is it gonna take you to realize your potential? And then do I gotta sit and wait on your damn potential?
No.
So then it just make you think, like, and it go back to life is very short. So even as a business owner, like you just like, man, if you have all these dreams, and that's what we talked about the other week, like if you have goals, like what if they sitting on a piece of paper or what people, these vision boards that we do, and you put this, put it plastered on your wall,
right?
Then are you really like working toward the goal, or it's just look pretty, or it's a nice party, you get to have wine and y'all get to converse, but you ain't really
doing
nothing.
Somebody told me as far as business board, I'm like, it's bullshit.
Right.
You ain't taking the steps. They were like, well, it's kind of like you're constantly putting it out there in the universe.
Who the hell is the universe? Listen, ain't no universe. It's a universe. It is a universe, but I ain't praying to no universe. But I do believe in manifestation.
Right.
And
so that's what they meant. That's what they meant. It being a manifestation board in a sense. So if you're seeing it every day and you walking past that thing, it should be a constant reminder that if you ain't doing shit, you need to get on your shit.
Yeah, if you late, but if you're lazy, if you're still not doing it, I won't even say it's always people being lazy. Sometimes it is that fear of doing it. So you write it down because, again, you at this manifestation vision board party.
Down, make it clear.
Right. Rebecca say write the vision, but you got to do the work.
You got to do the work.
So if you're not willing to put in the work, like there's no need to put this on a vision board or manifestation board or whatever you want to call it. Because if you ain't gonna do the work, like you pass by that shit every day.
Every day.
And be like, man, I gotta get on that.
It's gonna be one of those days, and when you feel it is when you got that idea, that bomb ass thing, and you see somebody else.
Yeah, because you done procrastinated and you got lazy or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was a bomb idea. Somebody got to do it. So somebody got to get it done.
Off of it. Somebody gonna be progressive enough to say, "Well, if I fail, fuck it, I fail." And let's go back to the drawing board.
But you got to be willing to take that chance. And sometimes that's where that fear comes in.
That's where it's at.
Yeah,
that's where it's at. But again, you guys, we were supposed to be checking in.
Yeah.
So y'all put it in the chat. Y'all put it in the chat. 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the suckers. Where you at today, like right now? I ain't talking about last week or what it's gonna be like when Christmas hit. None. I'm talking about right
in this moment.
In this moment, what's your number?
What's your number?
So mine, I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm probably at an 8.7.
Oh, there you go, the Keith Lee.
Yeah, 8.7. Like I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm on this wind down, and I don't feel guilty for my wind down for the year. Still seeing clients and things like that. But I'm prefacing our sessions like, listen, like this gonna be the last time you see me till next year. Like, are you prepared for that? So I give them, that opportunity to say, you know what, like if I need you,
can I call?
Can we set a session? You can send me an email, and if I got space and opportunity, but I'm not gonna schedule you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Kim say she had a 7.
Kim says our executive producer says she's at a 2.
Well, damn.
Is that from a physical standpoint because she's kind of under the weather?
Oh yeah, right now? Maybe that's what it is. 2 is kind of low.
I told her she use them neti pots, and she don't believe in the neti pot. Sinus issues, gotta use that neti pot.
Let me tell you, I've been taking CMOS every day, and I ain't. I ain't had no sinus infection. I always get at least 2 sinus infections a year that take me out.
Right.
Like I'm out for about 3-4 days.
Yep.
I've been taking my sea moss and my black seed oil, like the straight that tastes horrible.
The one that makes you want to throw up.
Yeah. I've been taking that every day, and nope, haven't had no sinus issues. Like I might get a little stuffy, but it might last like a couple of hours or something, or most a day. Might get a little sinus pressure, but
I feel like my immune system has been, because like when when you can feel something coming on, even like a little small fever, you get that little chill for a little bit. But like you said, like most of the time, at least every time the seasons change, I used to get a sinus infection, and like I think since was it when I had COVID last year? Around this time, it was right before New Year's. I hadn't been sick. I think I got sick like once for like a day or two or something like that. But definitely sea moss, napalm. I'm all about the holistic things, but also
been doing this thing.
Yeah.
That shit takes hard. Man, that thing takes hard. But listen, it's doing this thing.
Right.
I'm tired today.
I see you cold says a 7. Okay.
Yeah, she said a 7. That's
that safe number. That's that Kevin Samuels number.
Oh,
yeah, you can't be a 7. That's the safe one.
That's the safe.
What
you call it? Broke it down to is it Bundy? Who was it? They were talking about women in a relationship, and they're like, everybody thinking, going based on looks and stuff.
Right.
A 10, an 8, but technically, really, you want a strong 7.
Oh yeah. I know. I know. Yeah, I'm not in the frame.
It's on my Facebook. That's why. The one he on India is the business Facebook.
So go
my phone be tripping.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't go side.
No, she just want to see this.
She just want to see. Look at. What's happening? What is happening?
Oh my goodness!
I can't.
Big Zo check in.
He did the
the pro-am over there at Steph Curry's he was running that, but now he's the head coach for I think Presbyterian College, like doing big things for sure. Hey V, what's going on? Checking in. VDMP. That's one of our she's a celebrity. when you get your face plastered in Times Square on the big screen, you made it. You're like, damn it, mama, I done made it.
I done made it, mama. I done did it.
But yeah, man. So we just checking in right now. 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the suckers. Where are you at today from an emotional, physical, social standpoint? All of those things. I don't know who that is. Calling me, interrupting my live. But we're just doing a year in review. We're checking in. Again, this is our last episode for the year. So we want to go out with a bang and come in with a bang in 2024. What are we getting rid of in 20? What we not taking in 2024? What we leaving in 2023 from a business standpoint, from a personal standpoint as well, because what you are personally carries over to your business.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that we're in the best possible space that we can be in from a mental standpoint, as well as from an entrepreneurial standpoint, and building the best.
Being the best version of yourself that you can be. That's important.
If that means you got to leave some people in 2023.
I told you. Well, that thing I saw, listen, my cutoff game's so strong, but I got references. If you need references,
you better check in. You better ask somebody.
My cutoff game's so strong, sometimes I cut myself off.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm like,
I would cut myself off and be like, go sit your ass in time out.
Listen, but I got some references if you need some.
That is hilarious. Hilarious.
I don't know. I'm kind of tired today, so I've been at a strong 8.5.
Yeah,
I'm probably like it a 6.
Oh, you've been turning up since the top of the month. You only halfway.
I got a long
way. You ain't even halfway yet. So
I said every week, a weekend, I was gonna do something. Since my birthday is the 26th, and I'm already tired, bro. So I don't know
what, the 12? It's 11, 12? Like you're a quarter in.
But I'm not like
a third.
I'm not even tired. I don't think I want to say it's tired. It's probably just from the travel.
Okay.
But I really had time from Wednesday to Sunday to really relax and not do anything. I didn't whip out my laptop. I didn't even bring my laptop. I brought my iPad, but I didn't use it really. And just to kind of relax and like self-reflect, think about where I am, where I want to be.
Right.
And
what are some of those things when you're doing your self-reflection? And I advocate and I encourage everyone, not only just for business owners, but for just being a person, people, human beings, to often do some self-reflection. Because sometimes we get stuck in our own shit and say, I am who I am, rather than taking a level of accountability and saying, you know what, these are some things that I need to change within myself and within my business. So with that being said, what are some things that you kind of focus on, you self-reflected on and said, well, this is a strength, these are some opportunities for growth over here, because I don't like to necessarily say weaknesses, but opportunities for growth and, moving into 2024.
Well, I said, like, personally, I kind of flaked off when it came to reading. Like, I started real strong the first half of the year, like reading a book a month, you know what I'm saying, or spending some time with somebody, whether it's on their YouTube channel or their podcast and listening. So I really fell off with reading. And it went back to the comment I was saying about spending time with people that's just like losers. And I ain't saying like men or people, but like you spend time with people and sometimes you pour into people so much because it can go back to, that whole thing about I see your potential. Right. You spend time with people, or even if it's another business owner, and I'm working with them, I'm like, you got to do this, this, and this. And, your lack of motivation or being focused is not there, and so I'm like, well, you wasting my time. And so that's why I said, even going into what people consider another year, like, I was just like, okay, I'm not going to pour into people no more than they pour into me. And it's not like how you see on social media, like, well, I'm not matching energy. Right. But I'm only going to give you what you give me, per se. Like, if you, going hard, then, I'm going to meet you there. But if you giving me the foolery, or, I'm trying to help, or if it's even if it's on a personal level, right. Like, if you're not, I was just telling somebody this weekend, if you ain't 1,000% excited, like if you ain't like jumping up about me and excited about me, you don't want it? I don't want it. I want not like obsession, but I want you to be excited about me. Even friends, like, right, listen, you talk, don't be half, you know what I'm saying? Don't be half stepping when it comes to me. Like, no, you're gonna need, and listen, 10. Oh, but I'm just saying, like, I just know in 2023, I spent a lot of time on people pleasing. And then with people pleasing comes, well, if I'm pleasing people, then I'm not really doing what's for me, like what I want to do for me, because I'm people pleasing. Sometimes it can be overboard because I want people. I genuinely have a care for people, so I want you to do good, even if it's even with business owners. I want to see you do good, so I might spend an extra time with you, right? Trying to motivate you. So I just say, you know what? Nope, not happening. Nope. Yeah, I mean, I feel that, and I think for me,
on my self-reflection. I think this is from a personal standpoint and professional. I, I'm I'm I always do a lot of shit. Like people tell me, like, Amy, you do too much. Like you do too much as far as like because of my ambition and things that I see. Like you were talking about the potential that I see for myself far outweighs what other people see in my potential. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make sure that I prove myself right in my own value, my own worth, my own potential. So sometimes I'm going ham on 24/7. It's something. I'm always doing something. So I think for 2024, it's stabilizing.
That's a good one.
Stabilizing myself as far as business is concerned and making things just flow instead of saying, okay, well, I've done this.
Now you gotta do something else.
I gotta do something else. Or this ain't what I wanted to be. So yeah,
leave that alone.
Or this right here is banging, but so now it's banging. I can go on to something else and get something else banging too. It's kind of like it's nonstop. So for me, 2024, it's like you were talking about earlier, really focusing on the things that are important. I've never been a monetary guy in a sense. You know what I'm saying? As far as status or what I'm saying, what I can accumulate financially or even materialistically. I'm just not that person, but my drive is just different. In that I do want to achieve. Now, if it just happens to result in an influx of what I'm saying, monetary results, then cool. But that's not my driving force. Is not money. So for me, helping people and doing what I do professionally, like that's always going to be there. Maybe in a different, on the back a little bit and being selective in that.
Selection.
Yeah, like
selection.
Having that selective accessibility.
Yeah, that's the word. I feel like that's a word right there. Select or just accessibility, but selective accessibility, because that's how you can feel really drained.
Yeah.
And even some form of people pleasing is that you give people so much access, even with social media and your cell phone.
Yeah.
Like even realizing maybe I just need to, as certain times of the day, just lay it down. If you call me, I'm gonna call you back. Maybe tomorrow. It might not be today. You know what I mean? But that when you give people a lot of access to you, then they can abuse that access. So then it could be like, I got a quick question. Or on the other end of the spectrum, you could be around somebody that is always draining. Like they always got issues.
Energy vampire.
Energy vampire.
Listen,
that's a good one.
Like for real true story. Dating this girl a few years back. You know what I'm saying? Like even I think it was before I got married, and we, once I got married, kind of cut the thing off, and then once I became a freebie again, we kind of reconnected just on some
right.
You know what I'm saying? That type of deal. And pre-marriage, Damien wasn't doing the work. I wasn't emotionally intelligent in that space. You know what I'm saying? The maturity level to be able to effectively communicate what I'm feeling in that particular moment, right? So that's what she remembered me being. You see what I'm saying? After, post-marriage, divorce, and all those things, doing my work, going back to therapy, doing all this different type of stuff, meeting and talking to her, saying she was in the same space. It wasn't a bad thing, but it was just like, like I recognize every time I talk to you, it's something. Is there an issue? There's some type of drama with you and someone else. Something. Some family shit going on. A friend, you and a friend beefing, or a ex-boyfriend or whatever. I was like, yo, like this shit is draining.
Draining talking to people like
and I was like, yo, like I deal with this every day professionally. I don't want to get off and then I gotta do a damn near therapy session with you. I don't even want to hear it. And because I have that choice, because I'm not in a session or I'm not doing this professionally, I'm like, I choose not to hear that shit. Like, you're gonna have to call your homegirl or whatever the case may be. But in that moment, I knew that we wasn't gonna work.
But and do you think it's because I feel like you just said a whole lot? Because if you meet somebody at one stage in your life, right, and time goes on, and you would think it's a form of maturity, but it depends on both. I feel like it depends on whoever it is, family, friend, dating, professional, is to take the time to recognize who I am at that moment. Because you might have known me for, 15, 20 years or whatever. Sorry, but hey, I'm not the same person.
Right.
And so the person, the Stephanie that you knew,
right,
10, 15, or shit, it could have been yesterday.
It could have been right. Right.
The Stephanie that you knew 5, 10 years ago is not the same person. So really, when we are rekindling, we're starting over. So you got to put in the work. You got to meet me all over again.
Absolutely.
And you got to put in that same energy. And I guess it kind of depends on the type of relation. Because I legit had the same conversation with somebody this weekend. Like, if you know somebody for pre-marriage or whatever, and then y'all pick back up. But then it's like we picking up where we left off versus now we know each other, but do we really know each other? We just know you know my name.
You know the
old me. And so I don't want to bring back that old person. So if you're not willing to meet the new Stephanie, the new Damien, then this not gonna work.
Absolutely.
And so, but a lot of times when you met, you've known people for years, they're not progressing and they don't have that progressive thinking to say, okay, well, this person, I've known them forever, but they're growing. And I have friends like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just kind of stuck in how they know you and they haven't grown with you.
Right.
And so
you don't got to grow at the same pace, but just, it's the awareness and I recognize this growth, and whether I accept it or not, that's something totally different. But understanding that evolution is inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's like you should be. You should not be the same person that you was. And I always tell people, like, it's a cop out when you say, like, well, I'm just saying who I am. Like, that's a cop out.
I don't really want people that talk to me and tell me, well, that's just how they are. Oh, that's just how I am.
No.
Like,
No.
Okay, well, we're just gonna stop talking.
Exactly.
If that's what you're accepting,
if you can't change. I'm gonna change.
Then I'm gonna change, and my change is gonna be, I'm just gonna let you keep walking.
Right.
I'm gonna go to the right, and you're gonna keep going straight.
Right.
Okay. I'm getting off this exit.
Right.
I'm getting off this exit. So even when you think about in your entrepreneurship journey, like taking time to think about the stuff that, like you said, that you need to work on and grow in your business. But if you're not doing that, I guess my question would always be, well, how do you know, especially in your business, how do you know what you might need to change or tweak or keep doing? Like, how do you know if you don't take time to self-reflect or look at,
you gotta do that self-reflection. And like we talked about the week before, when you're establishing, objectives, and goals for your business annually, you're checking in on those goals. You should be doing it at least quarterly. Some people do it, once a month. Like, this month wasn't a great month. And you're doing that post-game analysis. I always use sports. You do that post-game analysis. What worked? What didn't work?
But you got to know that.
Yeah.
As a CEO, boss, you own a business. You have to know what, because even if it's your personal relationship, friendships, family relationships, like, it's the same thing. If you're not doing that, then I don't know what's
You're
happening.
setting yourself up because you got these level of expectations, and you're setting yourself up
And then you
to
have
fall short.
and then you might have the expectations of people because you're growing or you're kind of evolving, and then you have these expectations of people, and they don't know that you have these expectations of them. So then you feel let down, or
and you don't
communicate. And you don't communicate.
Never
And they don't even know why you. Yeah, right. I knew, and this is a true story. Somebody I used to know, she dated her now husband like years ago, and she had this huge crush on him, but he didn't like reach out to her then. And so even now in the marriage, it comes up because he let her down to some extent when they first met, because he didn't approach her, he didn't do whatever in that friendship right. And so then it's like, okay, well, does he even know that he disappoints you, or he disappointed you, and you're still holding on to who he was years ago, and he don't even know. And I was like, well, dang, he don't even know you. He don't even know that you mad at him, but you kind of low key like mad, like a person that's got shade or jealousy, like you low key mad.
And but you just like, how do you deal with that? Like, I guess maybe stepping outside of previous relationships and things like that. When you look at it from a different perspective, and you think to yourself, like, what the hell? Like, how did I waste all this time, all these opportunities to say, you know what, you affected me in this particular way. I felt hurt when you did this. I felt disrespected. I felt whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, but because we're trying to say, well, we're trying to keep the peace. We don't want no drama. All these things, we start to internalize all of these thoughts and these feelings. Right. But the thing about thoughts and feelings, eventually it's going to come out. And it's going to show in some way. It's going to show in your behavior in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It could be, from a sexual standpoint, you don't find them as attractive anymore. So y'all not being intimate because you're holding on some unresolved hostility. It could be the way that you treat them, the way that you talk to them, the way that you show up for them.
Wholeheartedly, I think it would definitely show up in the way you treat them and show up for them. Because then, and I know people that sit in that and don't talk and don't really talk about it. And so that goes back to what I was saying, like that whole self-reflecting. Like, I've always been the person that's probably going to tell you, what's on my mind. And depending on, who you are, it's coming out. Right. Whatever way, shape, or form is coming out. But I'm going to stick by that. I'm standing on that. I'm not going to, I may tweak how I say it, but what has happened is, because I don't want to hurt your feelings, or even with business, like if I'm thinking I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I gotta, walk on eggshells or be careful how I say it. Right. And so then I don't say it. Don't say it. So then I'm talking to my damn therapist about stuff that ain't really. But I'm like, well, now I'm just gonna say this is not working for me, or whatever it is that you're doing is bothering me in this way, shape, or form. And if you keep doing it, then we're not gonna be talking. Right.
But you can't get mad at that person for not knowing. Right. That they're affecting you in a particular way.
Yeah, you have to be. We got to put our big boy, big girl draws on and be willing to do that, because so many times it still go back to that potential. So you don't say stuff to people, and that could be even family members. You don't do certain things because you see a potential in them, or you just like, well, I don't really want to hurt people's feelings. But then every time you see them, you know what I'm saying, you're like, this mug, you know what I'm saying? But you really can't be like that, because you didn't tell them, like, yo, I don't really want to fool with you like that. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't do that. So now it kind of comes out in different ways. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Self-reflection, to me, you can't, like you were saying at the beginning, you can't not do a self-reflection or an assessment on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just say, oh, well, I'm going to figure out what's not working in my business. You got to look at yourself, especially those that are like solopreneurs.
Right.
And we are the CEO, CFO, COO,
the secretary,
you everything in your business.
Yeah.
So if you're not trying to figure out how you can kind of cope with all of these different roles and still, do what you need to do, then you're gonna continue to struggle. I feel like you're gonna continue to struggle in your business.
So again, you guys, we're doing this year in review, self-reflection. What's one thing that you're going to change going into 2024? What's one thing that kind of held you back from that word potential? What held you back this year from realizing your potential? Put it in the chat. I want to know.
I want
to know these things. I want to be like Joe. I want to know it. All that. Y'all heard a little bit of the pipe, just a little bit. But I think it's important to do that regularly. But I think when holidays come around, because it triggers so many different things within individuals, whether it's from a happiness standpoint, whether it's from I made it another year, so now I'm gonna kick back and chill, or it could be more of a trauma thing. It could be a traumatic response. It could be a grieving thing. You're peeling back these layers of who you are at the end of the year. You're peeling back everything and seeing what's growing, what's rotting. You know what I'm saying? What need to be nurtured a little bit more than others. But that all comes with self-reflection. And the one thing about self-reflection, remember this, if y'all don't remember nothing else, you got to be honest with yourself.
Oh yeah, I think I know at times I struggle with that. Like and that's in full transparency. Like sometimes I struggle with that because I know what my potential. So sometimes my vision is blurred when I look at myself, because I'm like, well, you got this going on, this is the reason, and I give myself, looking in the mirror, all of these different excuses on why. And so that's why I did that post earlier today talking about, stop with the excuses. If you want to lose weight, go to the gym. If you want to eat better, buy better groceries. You know what I'm saying? If you want to travel more, get you a passport and travel. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you can always find excuses why you don't do it, versus just saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I gotta do this, this, and this, and get this done and get it done. Right. Versus coming up with tons of. So sometimes I find myself still doing that, and then I shake it off like, girl, you tripping. Like, go on and do what you got to do. But I feel like it's still, you know what I'm saying? It don't really matter what. I feel like even if you are a very confident person on your shit, it's still going to be times where you feel that self-doubt, that self-sabotage is going to come, because you still have that fear of the inevitable, and you don't know what's beside, behind this door. Right. So you're like, well, if I don't do it, I ain't got to know. So some people don't do nothing.
And that's what people find confident. If I'm cool with the status quo, I don't have to worry about the failure or even the potential of it being something better, because this is what I know. People stick with what they know.
That being uncomfortable is tough for people.
Yeah. So that's why people stay in dysfunctional and toxic situations.
I saw something somebody said. But I saw somebody say the reason why, I wish I could remember who said it. Like they were talking about marriages or these your long-term committed relationships, and they're like, sometimes people stay in toxic relationships, whether it's business or personal, but you stay in a toxic relationship because that's all you know. So if you lived in chaos, meaning like you grew up, parents was abusive toward each other. There's always something going on in your house. And so then that's all you know. So when you meet somebody that may bring a form of calmness and peace, you're like, I mean,
that's whack.
That's whack.
It's boring.
Like you're boring. You don't want to. And I'm like,
what's wrong
but
with
that
you?
makes so much sense because that's all. If that's all that you know or have known is to be toxic. Or when I see some females and they with the whole neck shaking and that matter of fact, and I'm like, well, why you just can't say what you got to say? Like, why they got to be so extra? Like, why do you have to be? Why does everything have to be a big argument? You got to be on 10. Like, just talk.
Listen,
that shit used to get on my
nerves. I ain't doing none of that.
I am not going back and forth.
I promise you. I'm one of those people that'll be like, okay, and that's it.
Most times when people say, I know for me, if I say okay, well, you should know. You might want to know, like, if I say okay, sometimes that could honestly mean that this is the last conversation that we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. Ever in life.
Ever. We're not gonna talk. Because, and most of the time I think people give those signs that, you know what I'm saying, or say something like, I didn't like that, or bro, you tripping. Like, what you tripping about? But I don't do the going back and forth. If I say okay, if I say all right, then that's exactly what that means. All right.
Listen, that 2-letter word, I promise you, in the form of a text message or even verbally, does wonders for your mental health. I promise you. That and leaving some conversations need to be left on red.
Oh, I never knew what people was talking about.
Listen, I will look at it and if it's one, I say it all the time. If it's one of them long text messages, like you're gonna get an okay, or I'm just gonna leave it on red because I'm gonna tell you, if you wanted to talk to me, if you want to say all this shit,
it's people that like that.
You could have called me. This is a 5-minute conversation versus us going back and forth a whole several hours
on text.
You're putting
like that though.
You're putting your voice or what you think they're trying to say into your head, and shit get misconstrued. And I know people
that do that, and I've seen YouTube videos where dudes will be talking about, man, listen, if she just send you a okay or something simple, she don't really like you like that. But if you get a text message and she done type the whole daggone paragraph, and then they come through she love you. She loves you. That's a lie. That's a lie. I feel like that's a lie. That's too much. I feel like that's a lie. I feel like it's completely opposite. If somebody says, you know what, let's just agree to disagree. Yeah. I hear your point. Right. I still have my point of view, and we're just gonna let sleeping dogs lie. We're just gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna ever read a text message from anyone.
And it said one of two.
And it says one of two. Or if I gotta do like this.
Oh, we're not doing that.
But it go back to what I was saying. Like when people are used to that, like that's their norm.
Right.
So when you come across somebody that is that their norm is opposite and they're not toxic.
Oh,
they're not trying to argue.
Listen, sis, I get you. You don't care about nothing. You just so nonchalant. Like nothing moves you. Like you right. Like
I get that.
In the grand scheme of things, like what's the point?
Yeah, I get that.
Either we gonna move, we gonna accept what is, we gonna come up with some possible solutions to address the issue, but all the other stuff, what you could have did this and blah blah blah. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas don't rest too heavy with me at all.
And then if you're talking to people, and this is more of a personal relationship, if you're talking, like they're doing all this and you just be like, okay. Or you don't say nothing, the ish get worse.
They be like, you ain't gonna say
nothing. I'm like, you talking. Listening. I'm listening. I'm trying to listen.
Right.
Listen versus responding. Listen versus hearing you to respond. I'm trying to really listen.
Right.
And then I just be like, okay. You finished?
Right. Are you sure? You done?
You done? I don't want to talk about this no more. And that's the thing, like people want it. Sometimes you come across people and they just want to keep things, keep it going. And I'm like, well, we talked about it. Can we just let it go? Now I know sometimes I feel like I need to do that if I feel like you have not heard my point of view.
But how do you know they don't hear it?
I don't. I just feel like you haven't because you know what I mean. Like you're not. I don't think it's actively listening, or to me, it's the other version. Like we just said, you just don't really care about what we talking about.
Right.
Like you moved on from it, and sometimes I could be like, I haven't moved on, but then I have to check myself. Like you already said, you already spoke your piece on it, like your thoughts.
And it ain't gonna change.
As that person has their point of view, and that's what it is, and you have to let it go.
Yeah,
I've definitely learned that. Like I've definitely learned that. But I'll be quick. I get quiet on you real fast. And I'm like, okay, you done? All right. Well, what we gonna eat? We gonna
You hungry?
You hungry? I could eat.
I mean, I don't like staying in that space because I know me in a sense, and when I'm there, it's hard to pull me out of that in a sense. So I never like to get there. Like my tone may elevate in the sense like, look, listen now,
listen, Linda.
You know what I'm saying? That type of deal. I already said what I said, but it might be a little bit elevated. And but why are you screaming? Like, because I done said it one time. I ain't gonna say it no more. I'm only gonna say it one time. That goes for a lot of different things that's in my life. I don't think that's something that I may want to visit changing, but it's like if I say or do something one time and you don't accept it or you don't validate it, like I'm not gonna do it for you ever again. Let's say single life. This is just an example. If I shoot my shot and I shoot an air ball, you be like, nah, like trust and believe I'm never gonna ask you again. I'm never gonna ask you out again. You better be asking me out. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Like I don't know.
Is it like because you feel like you was rejected, like the rejection piece?
Yeah, it's like because I know me and I don't necessarily change my mind too often. Once I stand on something, I stand on. So I kind of put that same level of expectation on other people. So it's like, yo, like if I shoot my shot and you tell me no, that's what I'm receiving. That no, like I'm not gonna ask you again. And they be like, well, you ain't I ain't applying no pressure. You tell me no first time. Like
this whole
what's gonna happen between this no turn into a yes? Like what all this I got to do? Sometimes I'm not willing to do all that.
Apply pressure.
You know what you like me like in a sense. Like
I know me.
The vibe. You know
apply pressure. I feel like I'm complete. Like I get what you're saying. But on the single life, I'm gonna apply pressure. But when I see that, even if I give you my number and I don't hear from you or something, I'm not gonna call. Like I'm just wondering. But once we talk and share dialogue, I'm gonna apply pressure. And the pressure is when you got to. That's when I need you to apply the same amount of pressure. And I just feel like as men, y'all don't, like Wanda said, y'all don't like rejection a lot, but when on the opposite scale of that, women also like to be pursued, not chased. Like I just want you to pursue me to the extent, like okay, but if I ask you out, if you ask somebody out and they just say no or they don't, then you just saying, well, I'm not.
Yeah, like I don't have the fear of it because if I'm gonna do it, I never know whether it's a yes or a no. So it's not about a fear of rejection. It's like what's gonna change if I ask you the first time. If I ask you a week later, what's gonna change? Because if you tell me no, I'm not going to apply that pressure because that could be somewhat that's somewhat stalkerish. That's somewhat harassment.
What if the person says not right now?
Okay. Well, again, you tell me that between not right now and right now, what's in the middle of that?
Like,
you could say, well, you know what, I'm just getting over a relationship, or I'm still dealing with someone, but it's like on the tail end, or right now I'm just focused on XYZ. Cool, understandable. But
you're not applying no pressure.
I'm still going to be like, okay, well, when you're ready, you got my phone number. And if I'm still here,
right?
Cool,
I'm about to say,
but you're leaving the chance that I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, and you're not gonna have access.
Yeah. So I could be missing out. You could be missing out. Hey, sometimes I'm willing to take that risk. Because if it flows and if it hits, like I'm an energy person. So if I feel it and you feel it, what's stopping us from doing it right now?
It's a girl on, I always be going back to the videos. It's a girl on TikTok, and she just like, one of her toxic traits is like, if you like me and I like you, like, what we doing? I'm like, she said, I'm like, Nissan, whatever the thing is for Nissan, she's just like, honestly, I'm like, Nissan, I need you all to myself. But it's so funny the way she do it, because she keep going with the, what I'm saying, one of my toxic traits. And she just like, if you like me, if you feeling me, I'm feeling you, like, what we doing? I ain't trying to share. But I think that's where the confusion kind of gets in. I don't think I'm confused, but I think when you think about dating, if you're dating, then you're dating. Like, to me,
what's that definition? Like,
you're single until you marry.
Thank you, and that's why you want fucking siblings.
Yeah,
until we get that.
Yeah, until you marry. If we like each other, you can say,
we together.
You can say that you're dating.
Right.
I can say that I'm dating, but dating does not mean, unless somebody says I'm in a committed relationship with somebody and I'm off the market.
Right.
But
you're still single.
Which means it's only 3 checks: single, married. No, 4: divorce and widow.
Yeah, that's it.
Those are choices you got.
Those are the boxes I go by. Ain't nothing in the middle. You're single, but now,
it's complicated.
We ain't doing them Facebook statuses. This is like, okay, if we're dating, what does that mean? Like, for some people,
Wanda said dating and exclusive. I still feel like you're single.
Yeah, like I'm giving you my energy. Right, like we're dating and we're exclusive.
We're exclusive.
I'm giving you my energy.
Oh, so that means you're not dating. You can't go out with other people.
No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to understand.
I'm saying is that we're focusing on building this particular thing over here.
Oh, okay.
However,
somebody could come around.
Listen, exactly, and that's on both ends.
Right.
And unless I'm locking it down, there's a risk that a guy could come and sweep you off your feet and you gone. And that's the risk I gotta take just as much as you gotta take. Exactly. So it's not saying, okay, well, I'm saying I'm single so I can do whatever, and you know what I'm saying, go smash everything.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm just saying, like, if I feel like it's similar to what Wanda's saying. Like, so if you're saying I'm dating someone, I think you have to. For me, you got to clarify that. I ain't been single. I've been single a little while, but not that. So I'm like, well, but if you say that I'm in a committed relationship with this person, then how long? I feel like I'm going back to them videos that I be hating to see. But are you dating for a period of time and then you get to exclusivity?
That's still dating.
But that's still
in my book. That's still dating.
I don't know how we started talking about this. I just be asking questions.
It's just a different level within that. I think we need to go back to, you're dating and then courting.
Oh, I call it fellowshipping.
We just vibing right now. That's AKA vibe.
I'm getting to know you. I got this from my pastor at church. She like, y'all need to just fellowship. So, but fellowship could lead to exclusive date. Like, you're in an exclusive relationship with this person. But when you fellowshipping, is that like that? To me, that's like we talk. We might talk on the phone. We go out. We do different things together. But if a female is dating multiple people,
Mm-hmm.
then she's looked at very different. But dating multiple people doesn't mean I'm having sex with multiple people. It just means, you know what I'm saying? I like to eat. I like to eat. I could be hungry. You know me. You know, listen.
Yeah, listen.
I'm gonna go to the gym, but I like to eat.
Right.
I ain't gonna eat no pork and all no crazy shit. But I just feel like, you know, I guess it's levels to it. That's all it is. You know. But that's all about your self-reflection. You better sit down and figure that thing out.
Figure it out for yourself and then be able to communicate
that to the
what
person.
your definition is, not what society says or these videos or whatever the case may be. It's what you have a level of expectation for.
And society does have their own. And I'm like, well, what's working for you? Because what's working for other people may not necessarily work for you. And so it goes back to communication, being vulnerable and transparent, saying, you know what, let's see where this goes. But I want this, and this. This is what I want. I don't want you to do this, and this. And then y'all come to some conclusion or resolution.
Right. I'm just fearful of that possessiveness. I don't like to feel like I'm being controlled at all. So if I get that sense, even if I'm in a relationship, like I still should feel the need, like whatever the hell I'm on. At the end of the day, you know, it's I hate to put it cut and dry. Whatever the fuck I want to do, I'm gonna do. As long as it's not infringing on you or it's not intentionally hurting you. But I don't know, or I can't control what or how something impacts you. If I communicate, hey, these are terms and conditions, and you agree to those terms and conditions, and then those conditions happen, and you get pissed off about it, or you feel hurt, or whatever the case may be, that's not on me. That's on you to communicate that. Hey, when we had this discussion and we set this up, it was cool at that particular point, but going through this process, and I feel like this now. You know what I'm saying? I'm communicating it now. However you communicate it. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's left up to me how I respond to that. Am I willing to compromise that?
It still go back to that communication in your personal, and even as a business owner. To me, all that stuff impacts how you do business. Like if your personal life and your personal relationships are in a bad space, then that takes away from how you conduct business. Like to me. Absolutely. And so however you feel about people, friendships, relationships, like you have to be able to communicate that, because if you don't, then there's still that struggle with your business on how you communicate to different people, your customers, if you have employees or whatever. So, oh, my bad, we had a little slight earthquake.
Well, but I think that's definitely important from a business standpoint of being able to communicate effectively, whether that's via email, phone call, conference, whatever. If it's something that you don't like and you're dealing with other people, whether that's the customer or a stakeholder or a partner or whatever the case may be, being able to communicate those things is very important.
Bottom line.
Like, we got, and that's why you have rules in place. That's why you have contracts in place. That's why you have things in black and white. I ain't going off of feelings. When we talking business.
When this business is black, I don't care nothing about. I don't even remember what you said. You told me. I don't want to talk about what you told me, because now this is business, and whatever you thinking that you might have told me, you should have put that in writing.
Yeah.
If you didn't. I know I was the police. If it ain't in writing, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. And being in this particular field of mental health, if it's not notated, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
If I don't write a note, some type of note saying that I saw this particular client on XYZ date, I didn't see it.
You ain't gonna get paid.
And I won't get paid.
If it's like insurance. So,
and if I file it, if it ain't in there, and they come audit that chart, I gotta pay that money back.
If it's not in writing, Like John, the late Johnny Cochran said, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. If it's not in black and white, it didn't happen. Yeah. So it's personal. Yeah. Or for relationships, but I mean for business relationships and doing business with customers, right? It's all about the contract or what you said that you can do for this person, right. And hopefully most people that own a business understand like it's not a guarantee, like nothing is a guarantee, nothing is 100% guarantee.
Even with a contract, being able to understand that. You still gotta go back to the table. If something changes, you still have to go to the table, even in personal relationships. If we got this contract, hey, this is what we doing, this is the direction we taking in this relationship. And you start to feel different,
you better say something.
You better say something, bring it to the table. Have to have red table talk.
Not Jaden. Not the Smiths with the red table talk, man.
You gotta bring it
because you can't assume that you can't assume that I know and reading your mind.
Right. Yeah.
And so even if think about it from a business perspective, if somebody pays you for a service or a product, you have to be clear about the services and you have to be clear about what they get with this particular service. Right. And understand, like, okay, well, they may have an expectation, but I want you to read what's on this paper. Yeah. And what's on this paper is the only thing that matters. With business, with personal, is always, it's definitely going to be a little different because you got people feelings and you got them gray areas. But it's still back to communication. Like, did you tell me that? What? Right. What? I don't remember us talking about that.
We have this conversation. You just don't assume just because this, and third is this what it is. Like, no, it don't work like that. Yeah. Just because I didn't spend the night at your house, and took you out on a couple of dates, that don't mean that we're dating. That don't mean that you're the only one I'm seeing. Until we have that conversation, you best assume that I'm seeing somebody else too. Somebody else going on a date. It is what it is. Like, people don't want to say it, but until we have that conversation, I'm assuming that you're talking and entertaining other people just as much as I am.
She laughing. Ain't he funny? I don't know what he like. Listen, if I take you out and we link up, that don't mean we dating. What? Most people would think that y'all are.
But we have the conversation. We
dating. But it depends on to me like what led up to the dinner. Did y'all just meet? Was y'all on the phone?
This is just hypothetical, but I'm telling you, this is from not taking the views expressed by Damien may not be the views expressed by every guy out there, but more than likely, a guy he'll take you out to dinner, all this good stuff. Y'all have a great night, and the next day, y'all. So what are we?
I feel like that's too early. That what are we? Come on,
what are we doing? Like we just had a great evening. Like we went out to dinner, and hopefully we can do some more. But you asking these questions right here, I'm about to shut it down.
Yeah, I think. But sometimes I was I forgot who I was watching on YouTube, and they were talking about the different types of people in relationships, right? And so it was like you have these people that are anxious, and then the other ones are avoidance. Yeah, avoidance. And so like the people that are anxious, we went out on a couple of dates. So like, what are we like? What we doing? And they probably done like they done y'all already married. Y'all down the aisle.
Y'all got
but
kids
then, then you have the avoidance to where y'all went out, but they still have to have that independence and their own individuality when it comes to what they do, and in their mind, I mean, we just getting to know each other. You don't need to know what I'm, why you need to know what I'm doing. So then but the anxious person, it's like, well, I mean, we talk, what we doing? We dating, and so I wanna, you know what I'm saying? I want to move this thing along because they anxious.
It goes back because you just said something that's dealing with emotions, right? And we talked about this before. Who thinks emotions first and then logic?
Oh yeah.
Versus who thinks
logical.
We like, it don't make sense. Regardless of how you feel, right, it don't make sense for me to lock you down right now. It don't make no sense for me to think a year or two from now when we just really getting into something. Versus, oh my gosh, you done gave me butterflies. I feel great. I want this to continue forever. Let's go. You basing everything off of that emotion. Like, no, we can't do that, and that's, I'm not saying can't, but that's where we often fall victim to is our emotions, how we feel in that particular moment, rather than thinking things out.
We're just saying, like, we just getting to know each other.
Just enjoy that
take time. But that's why I say you have so many. If you're on social media, like, I just think you can be very confused if you're a single person and you're on social media and you pay attention, because some people will say, well, he should know and she should know.
You know within the first 7 months.
3 months, you will know. Right. And then some people say, well, in 6 months, he should know. Like, and then, but
that don't mean you pull the trigger.
But what does that mean?
Right.
And so, to me, it go back to what we've been talking about: communication.
You just really getting through the representative at 6 months.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. So, after a couple of months, you're seeing that person's representative, but then you really get to see the real person, like how they deal with different things. And ask in the beginning and check back in. That's too long to be unsure.
But again, you got to determine who's left the time when you're measuring that by to say it's too long. You know what I'm saying? So again, always when you're asking the question, you always got to ask yourself why. Why am I asking that question? You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to check back in? All those things in a year or two.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I don't want to date somebody for a year unless we are unless we determine. I mean, at that point, I feel like when you become exclusive, y'all talking about moving in. You're talking about something. Y'all having some kind of conversation.
Right.
But that's based on what works for both of y'all, right, and not what works. What society may say is, okay, you don't need to wait, because I mean, I've said that, like, y'all been engaged for 5 years. Now, y'all been together for right, but that is their story. Like, that is their situation, and it worked for them. It worked for them. Now, if you got one person that's saying they're ready to walk down the aisle, the other person saying they're not ready, like, how long do you get? Then you think about how long, and you have that conversation.
Yeah, we talk
how long do you get? And then if I say, okay, well, listen, I'm good. I'm gonna give you a strong ultimatum, and then we're just gonna, go part our ways. But I still think it's about what the two people, that whoever's in the relationship, what works for them.
What's been communicated. Yeah, because I promise you, if you like, when we moving in together, I'm backing all the way up, because that's not one of the things on my list. Like, that's not a turn on for me to be like, oh, we moving in together. I can love you to death, but that's not. No, I like my space. I just do. Anybody that know me know that. I like my own space. Like, it has nothing to do with the emotion. It just.
We have a family member that has dated the same person for 30
plus.
And so again, like, most people may have their, put their spin on it and their feeling about it, but it worked for them.
And it's still working.
It's still working. So I'm like, well, damn, she must be
last longer than
marriages.
Like, I got married.
They still have their own separate places. So I think even when you go back to, if y'all watch the news or been following blogs and stuff, with Shirley Ralph, her and her husband were married for 18 years.
Bi-coastal, like,
he in like LA and or she in LA.
One out of two. They about to go both ends of the coast.
Married, great marriage, and they're just deciding after 18 years to move in.
Yeah.
But it worked for them.
Right.
I mean, that's like the show of my girlfriend Tracy. Like we be talking about that show, Sister Brotherly Love. So it's a couple of black women, and they have one husband, but they have other partners, two or three partners. Okay. But again, that's not the societal. No, that's not what society says norm. Yeah, but absolutely. It works for them. Now, some of us might think that's crazy, right? But it worked for them.
Listen, whatever makes you happy.
Whatever floats your
boat. Like,
just do it.
I understand. I wouldn't personally do it. I don't care how many women. Like, most guys be like, oh, like, give me. No, because when you're in relationships with these people, it's not that you just having, a big threesome, foursome, whatever. It ain't that.
And they said that never happens. That never
right.
In the same.
You gotta deal with relationship issues on a
time three.
Yeah, time that's 3.
And that's a black woman. I've never seen it. It's a show called Brotherly Love.
I've been down there a little bit, and it ain't always crack.
That's a lot, especially I think when you get a certain age. To me, but it's a small number of people that will say, you know what, I don't want to be just with one person. Mm-hmm. I want to be with multiple people, and I want everybody that's involved to be okay. And no, right? Because sometimes people think, well, if you want to live like that, or you're dating multiple people, that I'm not gonna tell it. But to me, I feel like you should be honest and say it, because you never know. They might be like, all right, well, shit, me too. But I'm just saying,
that's taking a little bit of pressure off of me. Like,
you going over there and hang out with her, and then but. It's all about the communication and how y'all.
It goes back to what Juan said. It's the fear of rejection. If I tell you who I truly am, there's a fear that you're not going to accept me. So I'm going to fit within this box, in this norm, and lie. And then when you lie, you just only hurting yourself. But you get pissed off, you get resentful, like, dang, I can't even be myself around this person. But then I just said I do. Yeah. I just said I want to be in, because I'm fearful of them leaving me if I say that. Like,
the fear of being, and some people have, I feel like nowadays in 2023, is so many people have the fear of being alone. Especially when you hit over 40s, like you have this fear of being alone, so you end up tolerating or accepting and settling for different things. Whereas, I listen, my aunts was fussing. They was talking to me like I was 20 years old. Why are you traveling? And you need to take people with you. I'm like, no, listen, traveling by myself is so therapeutic. Like, I love to go places. I get in my car, I drive. If I want to go, I want to go. And now certain places I think is, you want to go with for more people.
Yeah.
But
you ain't going to Vegas by yourself.
But I love being by myself. Like, I enjoy that solitude. Mm-hmm. Like, I love that. And so sometimes you be like, oh, okay, you come out that moment. But
what if you get though? I used to get this a lot, like, because even like during the pandemic and all that, like I was traveling, like people was inside, like I was that's great. Yeah. That's great. Everybody inside, I can be outside. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if I was talking to somebody, whatever the case may be, I would mention it. Like, what you doing this weekend? Yeah, I'm going out to the beach, or I'm doing X, Y, Z. And I know in their mind, they're just waiting on me to ask
to go,
for them to go with me, and it never comes. And it's just like, it wasn't together.
And then that's a whole nother conversation, because then you ain't thinking about being a butthole.
Yeah.
But I think it's important as like people to have that time, even if you like in a marriage, or you still should have friends that you do things with outside of outside of your relationship or marriage. Like I feel like that's very important.
Right.
Very important. It's important to more people.
Because it's more so like because you start that's when you kind of lose yourself in a sense. And I mean, in relationships, we lose it. We compromise ourselves just a little bit. Like you lose yourself a little bit. You know, you have your head down. 5-10 years pass, and you look up, you like shit. And the relationship ends, and so now the relationship ends. You don't know who you are.
Yeah, I've been.
I get that a lot in therapy. Like they just don't know where to go from there. It's not that the relationship ended. It's the fact they don't know what's the next step for them. Yeah. What do I like? What do I don't like? What's my aspirations?
And even when you think about like getting after you ended that relationship, now it's time to get back on the bicycle. You know what I'm saying? And date. And so then if you haven't dated, I mean, shit, if you haven't dated in so long, then it's different. Yeah. So then you end up just saying, well, never mind.
Yeah, I understand. So
yeah.
They tripping.
I'm about to go lay down. I'm about to go.
That's a good segue right there because I know it's a year in review and we don't put about an hour and a half of this right here.
About to go. She said therapy with any relationship outside.
Absolutely. Very common. Very common. You just kind of lose yourself. So that's why we say do these from a business standpoint and a personal standpoint. Set goals for yourself. Set goals for your relationship, but also set periodic or short-term check-ins, objectives, all those things, so you can kind of know when it starts to go left, you can catch it much quicker.
Versus making an abrupt turn. You know what I'm saying? You kind of like the heel. You're like, oh, okay, it ain't really going right. What's happening? Let me bring it back over. Absolutely. Let me bring it back over. Let me, But you gotta spend the self-reflecting time to know, because there's a lot of business owners that I know I've talked to, and they like, they a lot of business owners I talk to that are afraid to look at numbers, afraid to even do goals or look at what they've accomplished because they haven't really set realistic goals. So it's important to make goals for yourself.
Smart goals.
You got to do it. And if you're not, I feel like you miss it. You're gonna miss stuff, and you might miss out. So make goals. Absolutely. So well, we done talked about a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Self-reflection. That's year end, not year end, but year end review.
Yeah.
In this year, so we about to end this year with this episode, you guys. Again, make sure 2024. Let's create some movement.
Let's go.
Do something.
I don't know who sang that song.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know
what song it is. I don't know. But let's go. Like let's get it.
Don't come in with that new year, new me bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that little that picture with the girl stepping in on the stairs and shit, leaving. No. Just do it.
That same product picture you posted last year, new me, and it's the same year.
It's the same shit.
Like something about you from year to year has to grow.
Has to.
And evolve.
Evolution takes some peeling back of some things, losing some things, and adding some things. But we're gonna do what it do. We're gonna catch y'all on the flip side. 2024, here we come. We're gonna holler at y'all. Y'all be easy. Be dope in real life.
In real life.
Yeah. I got that on the t-shirt. I am dope in real life. I love that. All right, we're gonna holler at y'all. Y'all be easy. I think that was the girl I was talking about.
Oh.